Hi everyone, welcome to FrontZ. Today we want to talk about the structure and history of CSS and the details of learning this popular and widely used language. Ready? Let's go! CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, which specifies how to display the elements inside the page and helps the developer to have control over all parts and elements of a page. CSS is one of the most widely used languages in the field of front-end development and controls the sizes, fonts, colors, and other visual elements of a web page and allows web developers to improve the appearance of web page content. With CSS, developers can create a user-friendly appearance for a website and encourage the user to stay and use that site or application more. For example, if you have a beautiful online shopping website, customers prefer to buy the items they need from your websites, even if those items are available on other websites. CSS also allows developers to create responsive layouts that adapt to different screen sizes and devices such as desktop computers, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. CSS works by defining the style for HTML elements using selectors. Selectors specify which HTML elements the style should apply to, and these styles themselves are defined using properties and values. The syntax of CSS consists of a set of rules that define how HTML elements are styled. Each rule consists of a selector which identifies the HTML element to which the style should apply, and a set of declarations that specify the visual properties of the element. HTML elements are selected and styled using selectors such as tag name, class name, and ID, and styles such as font family, background color, width and height, and animations are written for them. In CSS, a class selector is used to select all elements with a particular class attribute, while an ID selector is used to select a single element with a specific ID attribute. Classes and IDs are both used to give HTML elements a specific identifier that can be used to style them with CSS. However, while multiple elements can have the same class, each element should have a unique ID within the document. This means that class selectors are used to style groups of elements, while ID selectors are used to style individual elements, because the ID for each element must be unique. CSS has a long history dating back to the early days of the web. Here is a brief overview of some of the key milestones. In 1994, Håkon William Lie proposed the concept of style sheets for the web while working at CERN with Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web. I previously posted a video about Mr. Berners-Lee and the creation of HTML on the channel, and you can see the link of that video at the top of the page and in the description. Okay. Håkon William Lie is a Norwegian software engineer and web pioneer who is best known for his work on cascading style sheets or CSS, a technology used to style web pages. In addition to his work on CSS and web standards, Lie has been an advocate for open web technologies and has been involved in a number of initiatives to promote web standards and interoperability. He has also been involved in Norwegian politics and was a candidate for the Norwegian Parliament in 2009. In 1996, the World Wide Web Consortium released the first official CSS specification, CSS1, which included basic styling features such as font properties and colors. In 1998, CSS Level 2 was released, which added more advanced features such as positioning and layout controls. In 2001, the W3C released CSS Level 2.1, which was a revised version of CSS Level 2 with bug fixes and clarifications. In 2005, the CSS3 working group was formed, which began work on a new version of CSS that included many new features such as animations, gradients, and transformations. In 2017, the W3C released CSS Grid Layout, a new layout system that allows for complex, responsive layouts with a minimal amount of code. In recent years, CSS has continued to evolve, with new features such as CSS custom properties, which allow for more dynamic and flexible styles, as well as improvements to existing features such as Flexbox and Grid. Today, CSS is an essential part of web development and is used to create visually appealing and responsive websites and web applications. The best way to learn CSS depends on your learning style and preferences, but here are some tips that can help you get started. Start with the basics. Before diving into advanced CSS topics, make sure you have a solid understanding of the basics such as selectors, properties, and values. Practice, practice, and practice. The best way to learn CSS is by practicing. Build small projects, experiment with different styles, and try to recreate designs that you like. Follow a structured learning path. To ensure that you cover all the necessary topics, follow a structured learning path. This could include a book, online course, or tutorial series. Learn from real-world examples. Look at real-world examples of CSS in action, such as popular websites or design portfolios. Analyze how they use CSS to achieve their design goals and try to apply those techniques in your own projects. Use online resources. There are many online resources available for learning CSS, including tutorials, articles, and forums. Some popular resources include W3 Schools and MDM website. The link of these two websites is in the description section. Remember that learning CSS is a continuous process and requires ongoing practice and experimentation. With consistent effort and a willingness to learn, you can become proficient in CSS and create beautiful, responsive websites. The amount of time required to fully learn CSS depends on several factors, such as your prior experience with programming and design, the depth of your learning, and the specific topics you want to cover. If you are starting from scratch and have no prior experience with programming or design, it may take several months to become proficient in CSS. However, if you already have some experience in these fields, you may be able to learn CSS more quickly. To get started with CSS, you should first learn the basics of HTML and how to structure a web page. Once you have a good understanding of HTML, you can start learning CSS by studying the syntax, selectors, properties, and values. You can also learn about layout techniques, responsive design, and the best practices for organizing and maintaining style sheets. Ultimately, the time required to fully learn CSS will depend on your individual learning style, dedication, and the depth of your learning. With consistent practice and a willingness to learn, you can become proficient in CSS and create beautiful, responsive websites. We have reached the end of the video. Thank you for being with me until the end of the video. In this video, my goal was to tell the most important points. Please comment on the things that you think are important but were not covered in this video and share your opinions and experiences in the field of CSS and front-end programming with others. Thank you for your attention and take care. Goodbye.